Hi there, Dori Sukap here, founder of Inspiration Management. I am here at the Aesthetic Show live at the Wynn in Las Vegas. I have a very special guest for you today, Dr. Chilukuri, all the way from Houston, Texas. He's the founder of Refresh Dermatology. It's truly an honor to have you here.
If you don't know Dori, I tell you, she does amazing work. So it's a real honor because you grow practices in an aesthetic way. It's so neat.
It is. I'm super excited to be speaking with you. I know you're a very busy man.
No.
You are a speaker. You're a physician.
Yes.
You speak internationally and nationally.
I do. Thank you.
You teach clinical.
We do.
Oh my gosh, it's like, how busy are you? What an accomplished young physician
No, you're very
you
kind.
are.
You're very kind. But my favorite part is still being a dad.
Yes.
You know, that's the best part.
That's
we really
the best
enjoy it.
thing.
It is. It's so much fun. But all this technology is going to relate to our children. And that's the fun part because we're able to do things preventative today compared to when we were growing up, right? We were always playing catch up. And what I talk to our patients about is if you can stop that process or you can prevent that process from coming, how often do you actually have to come see me?
Exactly.
Once a year, twice a year, versus if we're playing catch up, I might have to see you once a month to get you back to where your baseline and then maintenance along there.
Well, actually, that's a great place to start because the millennials are going to medical spas like crazy.
It is.
And it's amazing how much younger and younger people are that are coming in for Botox and fillers.
Correct.
And have you been seeing such a big shift in your practice as well?
We do. You know, we've been close to new patients other than internal referrals since 2016. So almost 3 years we've been close to new patients. Even with that, we're finding that mothers are bringing their daughters in, fathers are bringing daughters and sons in, and just asking, is there something they should do? And 99% of the time, it's skincare. Right? We talk about using a retinol. That's the most important thing you can do. And then second most important thing, in my opinion, of course, it's not the most popular opinion. The second most important thing is your sun protection. So oftentimes it's reversed. Number one is sunscreen. For me, if you use a retinol, you're actually regulating the turnover of skin. So if you can turn your skin over every 7 days rather than 30 days or 40 days, what does it do? It's going to prevent aging, it's going to prevent static lines, and it's going to help the skin just look healthier. So we do that as preventative. But you're right, people are asking for Botox and fillers, and the number one thing that we see for millennial women is lips. And they see this craziness that's out there. We're seeing, I mean, everybody's Insta famous, right? And so they're coming out with these huge lips. And I had one lady come to me and I said, no, you're done. She came from somewhere else. I said, no, you're done. I said, if you'd like, I can dissolve a little bit. And she says, no, I want my lips to look like this. And I didn't recognize the person, but then the young lady in the room who's helping me, our team, she says, oh, this is so-and-so. I said, I have no idea who that is. So she pulls up the picture. And it's a Real Housewife, and I can't remember if it's Miami or something, but now her daughter looks the same with all these jacked up lips. They have two sausages. So I said, no, we can take that out.
And that's one thing I think physicians, you have that responsibility to 100%. Tell someone, time out, you're done, no more, please.
You're exactly
now,
right.
I know you're very famous though for the liquid facelift.
I do, yes.
So tell me a little bit about that and how did you get into like loving that particular procedure?
It's so interesting. I trained in surgery and then I did dermatology, so we learned about the skin, and then I went back and I did a little advanced training in both skincare surgery as well as doing lasers. So I said, okay, if we're using a facelift and we're putting these threads or we're putting these sutures in to lift this up, disposing of the old skin, what can we do? Is there some way that we can recreate the structure? And with technology that we have today, it's remarkable. So we have tools in our toolbox that 20 years ago, 22 years ago, we just imagined. We said it's impossible. We can put the fat in there and for 6 months you're not going to look good. We used to do these fat grafts on the lips and you have these huge, massive lips. It's crazy. But really for 3 months, the lips look terrible, right? And sometimes even 6 months. But now if we can reproduce an excellent result within a couple of days or even a week or less, sometimes even the same day, I'm just putting the structure where we used to put the suture in.
I see.
And I think that's the biggest difference. And in our office, we call it a C lift. And what does it stand for? Well, if you look about it, the C is an upside down C. You pull everything up from that C. And then what's the C lift? You can also say it's a Chilukuri lift. And why do we say that?
I like it.
Well, it's just different, right? And so what is it? It's something that's not reproducible because you're not the same as me. You're not the same as your son, right? You're your individual person. So what you need today versus what you need in 3 months even,
Exactly.
versus 6 months is going to be different. So every single time we're varying it. But I think that's where the physician expertise really comes in, is to kind of fine tune. When do we add an energy-based thing? When do we put a chemical peel? When do we do another filler?
Right.
When do we use a neuromodulator to regulate how strong that muscle is?
Right.
And putting that in combination is what makes anybody an expert in this field.
As a matter of fact, my talk earlier today was exactly about how to perform a consultation and create multiple treatments within this customized
100%.
package. And a lot of people, I feel, are missing out on that opportunity sometimes.
Right.
So I'm so glad to hear you say that you combine different
Always.
modalities. Now, though they're non-invasive, I know that we need numbing cream.
We do.
To help patients.
Yes.
Minimize
Yes.
the discomfort.
Yes.
No pain.
Yes, no
Discomfort.
pain. No pain.
So, are there any new technologies
There
with
is.
numbing creams?
There is, and I'm glad that you asked that. So what you're going to talk about at home is really understanding what's out there. There's BLT. We've been using it for years. That's betacaine, lidocaine, tetracaine, and we change the percentages, we change the bases and things like that. This day and age, there's something that's coming to the market. It's brand new. It's called Prevedine, P-R-E-V, so prevent, D-Y-N-E, any kind of dysphagia,
Nice.
dysania. So you want to prevent discomfort,
Yes.
right? And it's a 4% lidocaine. What's unique about it is the base, and it's all about the vehicle. And that's what we've been talking about in the dermatology space for 30, 40
Long
years.
time.
Long time, really understanding the science. And when you say a professional grade product, why does it cost 3, 4, 5 times more than, let's say that you get a Neutrogena product? Why? There's more science behind there. This is something that's very reasonably priced. I actually give it to the patient as part of our package because we don't want them to be discomfort,
Yes.
have any kind of discomfort. And if you put it on 5 to 10 minutes before a procedure, it's numb.
Wow.
Think about this. If
That's
you can go
nice.
to the office and you can do something around the mouth, which is
Yeah.
quite often, it's very painful. If we can do something around the mouth, 5 minutes and not block up a room,
Yes.
what can you do?
Beautiful.
You can really change a person's life, but you can also
Absolutely.
change your practice to where you're more efficient, your team is more happy,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, for me, it's the patient. The
Yeah,
patient has to be the happiest.
Absolutely. Let's talk a little bit, since I'm a business advisor, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that I saw you do
Certainly.
that I always want many people to do,
Thank you.
and that's video.
Oh, yes, thank you.
You have some amazing
very
videos on
kind.
your website, and I think that a lot of people can minimize so much of the patient consultation process if you let them sit in the room a little bit before the procedure and just go over like most frequently asked questions
100%.
to cut down that repetition that you have to repeat yourself
Correct.
over and over and over, and that's something that you should really minimize.
Right.
So when I was on your website and checking
Thank
out all
you.
your videos, you have some great videos.
Thank
And that's
you.
one thing I'm always telling people to do is video marketing.
Right.
So when did you get into doing videos, and how have you seen it change your business?
So it's interesting. I'm glad that you asked that question because videos are, I think, the new generation of blogging. So when we were kids, what happens? We read a book,
Yes.
right? And then they go to this tablet, this Kindle, and then from the Kindle, they don't even want to read anymore. They just
Yes.
want to hear people
Yeah.
talk. And it went to podcasts. From podcasts, as things got more advanced, now we can do videos. So the advantage of video is just like you said, patient education.
Yeah.
And the most important thing for us in our practice is really educating the patient. You want to talk about, number one, what is it going to feel like? Number two, what to expect on the day of the procedure? Number three, what to expect immediately afterwards, 1 hour afterwards,
Yeah.
1 day afterwards, and how does it make a difference? And so when patients kept asking, well, what is it going to look like? I used to take pictures,
Yeah.
but sometimes the background looks funny. And then what we've changed from is doing these professional videos where we'd hire somebody in, they have these
Yeah.
fancy cameras like these guys here
Yeah.
behind here, to using our phone.
Yeah.
So with the technology change, really it was the iPhone 6, so I think that was 4, maybe 5 years back, 5 generations ago.
Yeah.
The camera is so powerful. And today with what's out there, with the Samsung, the Androids that are out there, and with the iPhone 10s
Yeah.
or something
Yeah.
like that, the camera's a
So
4K
easy.
camera. It's easy. And so we spend a little bit of money on Amazon. So a little bit of money really means a little bit. It's
Yeah.
$30, right? We buy a professional stand. We put that stand up. Then I spent another, I think, $12, and I bought a microphone that goes up through the suit.
Yeah.
And you can hear everything nicely. And so I've changed from doing the professional to a live video. And
Yes.
oftentimes with
Love
the
it.
platforms that we have Facebook,
Yeah.
we have Instagram,
Yeah.
we have Snapchat. And the reason I changed that way is so we can interact and say,
Absolutely.
hey, Dora, is this hurting?
Yeah.
Because if this is hurting, I need the patients at home
Yeah.
who are watching to know that.
Yeah.
So on our social media
Love
challenge, it's just at Refresh Dermatology.
Love it.
We have a whole video section. So we shoot 1 or 2 a week, and
That's great.
it's just fun.
Yeah, it is. And this is something that we practice all the time. I love
Yeah.
video marketing, and it's free.
It's free.
That's the best part. It's free.
Crazy.
You are just such an inspiration.
No, it's a pleasure.
It's such a pleasure to have you here.
My honor.
Great to meet you.
It's a pleasure. Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Dory Sukup signing off from the Aesthetic Show Live.